Lesson 3, Degradation of a Natural Environment, Part 2. Dear learners, hello and welcome to our program. In our previous program, we have discussed about concept of environmental degradation. Reckless exploitation of natural resources leads environmental degradation, impact of population and environment, and deforestation and its consequences, etc. Today we will discuss about how does mining, industrialization, modernized agriculture and urbanization impact in the degradation of natural resources. I am Neelam Gupta. Welcome to the program. Objectives of the program are: discuss how mining and modern agriculture has adversely affected the environment, discuss the impact of industrialization on environment, including its biotic and abiotic resources, list local, regional and global backlashes caused by environmental degradation, describe the impact of environmental degradation on life. Impact of mining on the environment. You have already learned that Earth is full of metals and mineral resources. They are very important non-renewable resources. India is very rich mineral resources. Due to rapid industrialization, mining of various metals and minerals are being intensified. That results as loss of biodiversity. Vegetation and soil are removed by using heavy machinery to get access to mineral deposits. As large areas are cleared for the purpose, it leads to loss of biodiversity of the area. Second is depletion of minerals. Earth is the rich deposit of metals and mineral resources. India has a large share of these resources. These are non-renewable resources. In last 200 years, large amount of lead, aluminium, copper and iron ore have been used. It is believed that in next 20 years, silver, tin, zinc and mercury will be depleted to an alarming level if their exploitation continues at the present rate. Next, dumping of debris. Extracting of minerals from earth also produces significant amount of debris or refuse. Often it is much more than the quantity of mineral obtained. This dug out waste material is dumped on the adjacent land. Large scale logging or cutting down trees is carried out to create the space for dumping. These waste dumps also became source of soil erosion and contamination of water bodies. Next is land subsidence or landslides. Excessive mining, especially underground mining, lead to gradual sinking of the area and may also cause landslides. The landscape too is spoils unless care is taken. Not only minerals will be depleted but also large land area which otherwise could be used productively is due to dumping of mining wastes. Impact of industrialization on the environment as shown in the figure, that is to meet the growing requirement of the increasing human population, large scale manufacture of essential goods is necessary. Small factories to big industries have come up for mass production of goods. Industrialization is important for the development of the country. Industrialization leads to environmental degradation like the following reasons. Natural resources used as raw materials by industry are depleting rapidly. Industries generate lot of toxic gases and liquid effluents leading to environmental degradation. Industries generate large amount of waste which pile up in the environment. Disposal of waste not only needs land but also pollutes the environment and poses hazards to human health. Industries use up a lot of fossil fuels as source of energy. Accelerated consumption of fossil fuels is depleting their stock as they are limited and non-renewable. But burning of fossil fuels releases carbon dioxide in the atmosphere leading to global warming. Excessive nutrient, particularly nitrates and phosphates in water bodies trigger the explosive growth of green algae called eutrophication which may kill aquatic life. Impact of modernized agriculture on environment. It is important to achieve self-sufficiency in food production. However, intensive agriculture may lead to serious damage to the environment. Some these are: forests are cleared to grow crops, excessive irrigation and poor drainage causes waterlogging and kill plants, Increased use of agrochemicals such as synthetic fertilizers cause serious environmental problems. Unused fertilizers from croplands are carried away by runoff water into lakes and rivers, causing pollution. They may also seep through soil and pollute groundwater. Use of pesticides not only kills pests but also beneficial organisms such as the insect pollinators, birds and helpers in dispersal of seeds. Biodegradable pesticides lead to biomagnification. High-yielding variety of food crops have replaced the traditional agriculture. It was based on multi-cropping, that is growing food crops, fodder and firewood crops together. This practice is replaced by monoculture, that is growing of only one type of crop. Such crops used up only a specific set of nutrients which need to be replenished repeatedly, making soil unfit for growing other crops. Urbanization means permanent settlement of people in cities. It occurs due to the following factors, that is in search of jobs, population growth and poverty in villages. Industrialization has opened many job opportunities, improved transport and communication facilities. Cultivated land was lost forever for building houses, industries, roads and other facilities. A water supply system has to be developed to provide water for drinking and other domestic uses. Growing urban population created increasing demand for potable water. As a result, availability of water became more and more scarce. Growth of cities lead to increasing demand of environmental resources. This brings about the following changes. Cultivated land was lost forever for building roads, school or other institutions and industries. Availability of water became more and more scarce as the population increases in the cities. You can see in the figure, and we experience this in our daily life also. Now comes to the next section of this program, that is environmental backlash. Learners, you must have understood now the environment has been spoiled by humans. It has been degraded to such an extent that now humans have to suffer its backlash. You must have seen the devastation caused by nature's fury in Uttarakhand. In very few years, the natural beauty of the Uttarakhand was compromised and places of tourist interest transformed into a concrete jungle. Climate change, cloudburst, etc. are consequences of environmental degradation, and in the peak tourist season, Uttarakhand got trapped underwater from cloudbursts and flash flood, that is regional backlash. You are now familiar with the devastation caused due to various human activities. Flood, drought, acid rain, oil spill are some of common occurrence. These are largely due to carelessness and disrespect of humans towards the environment. Loss of biodiversity, global warming and ozone depletion are some of the environmental retorts and pose serious threat to human health and well-being. Backlashes are three types. One is local environmental backlashes. Now we will discuss local environmental backlash. These are, number one, salination of irrigated soil. In several areas, over-irrigation resulted in salt accumulation in the soil as water is lost from evaporation, but the salts dissolved in water remains in the soil and accumulate progressively, making the soil saline and unfit for cultivation and infertile. Next is eutrophication. Eutrophication of a water body occurs when plant nutrients such as nitrates and phosphates are released by the action of aerobic bacteria on organic waste entering a water body. These nutrients promote growth of algae, that is algal bloom. Algae consume all the oxygen and aquatic organisms die due to lack of oxygen. We have already said that to make place for growing crops, forests have been cut, fields have been developed to increase food production. Fertilizers and pesticides have been used, which has caused eutrophication due to field runoff and aquatic fauna. Excessive irrigation has caused waterlogging and killed plants. Pesticides have killed non-pests, which are pollinator or help to seed dispersal. Bioaccumulation and biomagnifications are other consequences. And what is the exactly definition of eutrophication, or how we can define eutrophication? Nutrients like nitrates and phosphates in fertilizers are washed into water bodies. Bacteria and algae in that nutrient medium grow and increase in number enormously and finish up oxygen in the water. That is eutrophication. This is an important concept. Next is Minamata disease. An interesting case in Japan was that of mercury poisoning and Minamata disease. Factories making plastics, caustic soda, pesticides, etc. release effluents in the adjacent water body. One effluent was mercury, which entered the food chain, bacteria, algae, fish and humans. Fish died and the poor villagers consumed them. In their tissues, mercury formed soluble monomethyl mercury and volatile dimethyl mercury and caused damage to nervous system. The high concentration of mercury in water and in tissues of fish resulted for formation of soluble monomethyl mercury and volatile mercury by the action of anaerobic bacteria. Next is extinction of wildlife species. The number of tigers and lions have dwindled. The great Indian bustard is endangered and the list of animals and plants threatened to extinction is long and growing. The Kalu river near Mumbai is severely polluted by industrial waste, and the Bombay duck, a favorite edible fish which was once common in this river, has been lost forever. Tigers and lions are being killed by sports and by poachers. We have now evidence of environmental backlash not only at the global level but also at the regional and local levels. Let us review some example of backlash at the regional level. In many areas now humans are suffering the environmental backlash. Regional backlash are, one is flood. Floods are a natural disaster and India is a flood prone country. Floods occurs almost every year during the period of monsoon. Continuously heavy rain brings huge quantities of water into rivers which overflow and cause flood. The habitations close to the river get flooded, resulting in loss of human life and property. This means heavy economic losses. The flood affected areas suffer from quite shortage of potable water, often outbreak of epidemic diseases. Next is drought. Failure of monsoon and absence of rain leads to drought. Rise in the average global temperature due to global warming will increase water use and may create water shortage. It is estimated that at 3 degrees centigrade, global warming may reduce as much as 10% precipitation and creating water scarcity, leading to drought conditions. Shortage of water would adversely affect agriculture, industries and plant communities. Animals that are unable to move to greener pasture will perish. Human will suffer from health problems. Next is acid rain. Pure rain is clear and has pH 5.6. Sulfur dioxide from coal, oxides of nitrogen from vehicles form acids with atmospheric water, fall as acid rain and ruin buildings, monuments, statues, etc. Oil spills is the next backlash. Sometimes there is accidental spill of crude oil and petroleum products into the sea by oil tankers and ships. A thin layer of oil covers sea surface, depriving marine organisms of oxygen. Floating oil slicks kill marine life and severely affect ocean ecosystem. Now we will discuss about the global backlash. Global backlash covers loss of biodiversity, global warming and greenhouse effect, etc. Now we come to the loss of biodiversity. Many herbal products for cosmetics and medicines were obtained from forest. Any wild animals were forest dwellers. Deforestation has led to loss of many species. Next is global warming and greenhouse effect. You must be experiencing a change in climate. Summers are very hot, winters colder than they used to be and monsoons erratic. Global warming is due to greenhouse gases, especially carbon dioxide, which has accumulated in air beyond normal proportions. Global warming has caused melting of glaciers, heating up to ocean surface, leading to collapse of marine fisheries. Ozone layer depletion is one of the global issue. Layer of ozone gas protects us from UV rays from sun. The ozone layer in Earth's atmosphere prevents harmful UV radiations of sun from reaching Earth's surface. CFCs, that is chlorofluorocarbons, used in refrigeration, air conditioning, cleaning solvents, fire extinguishers and aerosols have damaged the ozone layer or ozone shield, particularly over Arctic and Antarctic regions. 30 to 40% reduction in the ozone layer may cause sunburn, fast aging of skin, skin cancer, cataract, cancer of retina, genetic disorders and reduced productivity in sea and forests. Now we come to our last section, that is environmental degradation, a threat to survival. You have now learnt how various human activities have caused irreparable damage in land, air and water and consequently to the organisms that inhabit them. Primitive humans struggled with nature for their survival, as you have read in the earlier lessons. As human beings became more civilized and through the progress of science and technology, they created various luxuries of comfortable living. But population explosion coupled with humans' greed for progressive prosperity and comfort has exploited and degraded the environment mercilessly to such a large extent that human survival itself is now threatened. Contaminated food, water and air is taking its toll on human health. Toxic chemicals and harmful radiations have the potential of causing serious problems of human health. This is a picture of population explosion and causing pollution and its consequences towards the environment. A very large population means less job opportunities, unemployment and related stress. Stress may also be due to job pressure, money matters or living conditions. Diabetes, asthma, ulcers, depression, hypertension are stress-related diseases that are on the rise. Degraded quality of life and continuous health problems affects the mental health. Toxic chemicals and harmful radiations causing serious health problems like cancer, asthma, pulmonary fibrosis, pneumoconiosis are caused due to air pollution, especially in working places such as mines, textile mills, poultry, crackers, sandblasting and chemical industries. Let us now summarize what we have learned today. We have just revised what environment it is and how important it is for the humans and other organisms on earth, but human activities have depleted natural resources and polluted the environment as we have just discussed. Modernized agriculture practices have provided food for teeming millions but created problems of land erosion, environmental pollution from fertilizers and pesticides. Humans have moved from villages to cities in search of better employment opportunity, education and health facilities, resulted in formation of slums which suffer from unhygienic conditions. The consequences of depleting natural resources and environment pollution are looking the face of humans. Examples are Bhopal gas tragedy, Minamata disease in Japan at the localized level, flood, drought, oil spill etc. are regional level and global level is represented by global warming, ozone depletion and loss of biodiversity, that is backlashes. Do you think that environmental degradation is going to cause serious problems in future? We know that due to human activities there is scarcity of land, air and water on earth. As more and more scientific and technical development took place, man became more and more lethargic and also more and more greedy to have more of everything. This exerted immense pressure on environment and the result was degradation. Such a huge population means more employments are to be given. The concept of safe environment was lagging behind and today environment is taking toll on us. Let us together take the responsibility of making our environment safe and healthy for our future generations. We have borrowed the environment from our children. Let us be aware that it is a duty to preserve and conserve the environment, not merely destroy it. I hope this will enhance the knowledge of all viewers regarding environment and humans. Thank you.
जीवन ये प्रकाशित करने, राहों को आलोकित करने। हम अपना दीपक स्वयं बने, हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने।
धन साधन समय की सीमा से विद्यालय जो मुक्त हो, धन साधन समय की सीमा से विद्यालय जो मुक्त हो।
कभी पढ़े हम कहीं पढ़े, वे विषय की लोच से युक्त हो। मित्रों हम उठे और जागे,
मंजिल आने की ध्वनि सुने। हम अपना दीपक स्वयं बने, हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने। कोई मन चाहा केंद्र चुने।
पच्चीस साल का लंबा सफर और लाखों लोगों के चेहरों पर खिलती मुस्कान, गर्व और गरिमा से जीने की प्रेरणा देती मुस्कान, आत्मसम्मान और विश्वास से पैदा हुई मुस्कान। इन खिलते चेहरों पर ये मुस्कान आई है शिक्षा के जरिए। ये मुस्कान आई है नेशनल इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ ओपन स्कूलिंग यानी NIOS के जरिए। नेशनल इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ ओपन स्कूलिंग या राष्ट्रीय मुक्त विद्यालयी शिक्षा संस्थान, इस संस्थान का एक बड़ा उद्देश्य है आम आदमियों के जीवन को बेहतर बनाना। ऐसे लोग जिनके लिए शिक्षा एक दूर का सपना है, या वे बच्चे जो परिवार की रोजी रोटी कमाने के लिए बीच में ही स्कूल छोड़ने पर मजबूर हो जाते हैं। NIOS ऐसे बच्चों और बड़ों को दोबारा शिक्षा से जुड़ने का मौका मुहैया कराता है ताकि वे एक बेहतर जीवन जी सकें। 1989 में स्थापना के बाद NIOS ने देश के लाखों बच्चों और वयस्कों को बेहतर शिक्षा से जोड़ा है। इनमें हर उम्र, हर पृष्ठभूमि, हर जाति, हर मजहब और हर क्षेत्र के लड़के लड़कियां, महिलाएं और पुरुष शामिल हैं। बढ़ई से लेकर पायलट, डॉक्टर, इंजीनियर, बेकर और दर्जी तक NIOS कोशिश कर रहा है सबको शिक्षित और सशक्त बनाने की, चाहे वो असम के दूर दराज इलाके में रहने वाला हो या फिर मुंबई जैसे महानगर का। NIOS ने अपनी मौजूदगी हर जगह दर्ज कराई है। NIOS ने शिक्षा की परंपरागत सोच को ही बदल दिया है। वो पढ़िए जो हम पढ़ाते हैं की जगह NIOS की नई सोच है, हम वो पढ़ाते हैं जो आप पढ़ना चाहते हैं। इस नई सोच ने लोगों को आगे बढ़ने और NIOS के साथ जुड़ने के लिए प्रोत्साहित किया है। शिक्षा उपलब्ध कराने के मामले में NIOS किसी सीमा को नहीं मानता, उम्र की सीमा को भी नहीं। चंडीगढ़ के गणेश के लिए भी NIOS एक वरदान साबित हुआ। NIOS शारीरिक रूप से अक्षम बच्चों को भी बेहतर शिक्षा मुहैया कराने के लिए पूरी तरह प्रतिबद्ध है। ऐसे बच्चों के लिए शिक्षा न केवल रोजगार के द्वार खोलती है, बल्कि उन्हें आत्मविश्वास और गर्व के साथ जीना भी सिखाती है। NIOS खेल के इन सितारों को उनकी सुविधा और समय के अनुसार बेहतर शिक्षा उपलब्ध कराता है। मेरी कॉम, सोमदेव देववर्मन, देविका रेबेका पल्लिकल, अरमान इब्राहिम, प्रद्युमन प्रकाश और अमय जोत सिंह, NIOS सीमा पर खड़े उन प्रहरियों को भी शिक्षा से लाभान्वित करता है जो देश की सुरक्षा के लिए अपनी जान की बाजी लगाने से भी नहीं चूकते। सच तो ये है कि NIOS की पहुंच हर ओर रहती है, चाहे वो दूर दराज के आदिवासी हो या जेल की कोठरी में बंद कैदी या फिर ग्रामीण और शहरी क्षेत्रों के गरीब निवासी। देश में कहीं भी कोई भी व्यक्ति, स्त्री, पुरुष, लड़का, लड़की, अमीर, गरीब शिक्षा से वंचित न रहे। राष्ट्रीय मुक्त विद्यालयी शिक्षा संस्थान का यही मिशन है।
राष्ट्रीय मुक्त विद्यालयी शिक्षा संस्थान पूरे देश में शिक्षा के साथ साथ कौशल विकास के क्षेत्र में बहुत सारे कोर्सेज दे रहा है। लगभग 100 से ज़्यादा कोर्सेज हैं। हम दूर दराज के गांव में अपने संस्थान बनाते हैं और वहाँ के बच्चों को, वहाँ के बच्चियों को, वहाँ के वयस्कों को हुनर के क्षेत्र में शिक्षा पहुँचाते हैं। आपको जानकर खुशी होगी कि अब हम आर्ट, साइंस, कॉमर्स जिन क्षेत्रों में 12वीं का सर्टिफिकेट दिया जाता रहा है, अब हम हुनर के क्षेत्र में, वोकेशनल एरिया में भी 10वीं और 12वीं का सर्टिफिकेशन करेंगे। तो वो बच्चे जो कृषि से जुड़े हुए हैं, कारपेंट्री से जुड़े हुए हैं या दूसरे क्षेत्रों से जुड़े हुए हैं, वो अपने ही क्षेत्र में काम करेंगे, सीखेंगे, हुनर पैदा करेंगे अपने में और सर्टिफाइड भी होंगे कि वो सर्टिफाइड कृषक हैं, खेतिहर हैं। तो आज तक जो हमारे देश में ये सोच रही है कि आप 12वीं पास तभी कहे जाएंगे जब भूगोल, अर्थशास्त्र, भौतिकी ये पढ़ेंगे, अब ये समय बदल गया है। ITI में जितने बच्चे पढ़ते हैं, लगभग 18 लाख बच्चे हर साल दाखिला लेते हैं। अब हम उनको सर्टिफिकेशन करेंगे।
NIOS अपने छात्रों को माध्यमिक स्तर पर 26 और उच्च माध्यमिक स्तर पर 19 विषयों का विकल्प देता है। पढ़ाई किस माध्यम से करनी है, इसमें भी आपको लचीलापन मिलेगा। माध्यमिक स्तर पर ही 7 भाषाओं के अलग अलग माध्यमों का विकल्प मौजूद है। शैक्षणिक कार्यक्रमों के अलावा 86 वोकेशनल शिक्षा कार्यक्रम भी उपलब्ध हैं, जो छात्रों को कामकाजी दुनिया के लिए तैयार करते हैं। वोकेशनल प्रशिक्षण को अधिक सुदृढ़ बनाने के लिए NIOS ने ITDC, सिस्को, इंडियन मेडिकल एसोसिएशन जैसे कई सरकारी और गैर सरकारी संस्थानों के साथ भागीदारी स्थापित की है। आज लाखों छात्रों के लिए अपनी पसंद का स्कूल है राष्ट्रीय मुक्त विद्यालयी शिक्षा संस्थान यानी नेशनल इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ ओपन स्कूलिंग। NIOS ने एक लंबा सफर तय किया है, लेकिन मंजिल अभी दूर है। निरंतर विकास और नवीनीकरण के लिए NIOS सदैव प्रतिबद्ध है। शिक्षा का उद्देश्य महज रोजगार जुटाना ही नहीं है, बल्कि स्वयं को सशक्त बनाना भी है। NIOS लाखों छात्रों के लिए यही आत्मसम्मान दिलाने में जुटा है। लाखों लोगों के लिए एक आशा और उम्मीद है। नेशनल इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ ओपन स्कूलिंग। शिक्षा सबके लिए, कहीं भी, कभी भी।
हिंदुस्तान के हर कोने में नौजवानों के पास प्रतिभा है, उन्हें अवसर चाहिए।
NIOS देता रहा है युवाओं को अवसर आगे बढ़ने का। NIOS से पढ़ने वाले इन युवाओं ने किया है संस्थान को गौरवान्वित। दिव्यांगों ने बन के दिखाया है सबल और आत्मनिर्भर। NIOS के साथ आप भी जुड़िए NIOS के संग।